As always, there should be. There's timestamps in the description and on this video on this platform below if you need to, when you just want to skip forward and see a certain thing. Although at this point, I mean, we should be nearing the end. We're only on Viceroy. I forgot because I've been doing like Prestige 4 or 5 on the Alpha 2 because I need to go farther. But hey, and not even just farther, like I just want to make progress. That being said, we have a trader. Specifically, it's Parfarlov. Oh, still coughing, but I think we're going to be doing relatively well, as long as we continue on the way that we're doing. Now, we're missing one farm field, but that'll be solved when we clear this out. Yeah, clear this out. Now, I don't have any humans, but I do have free people to essentially work on these farms, if I so choose. Is this 2-star? Usually it's 2-star, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, probably want to, right? I'm not going crazy here. This is for mushrooms, which is... They wouldn't stick something that is not surrounded by the very thing that you're trying to get... that you expose with the glade. That being said, I also am looking at it... Again, I'm now managing like 3 different saves, which I really shouldn't be doing. Also, we have fertile soil here as well, but not really... It's not really close to the hearth or the warehouse, so I would rather do the... Well... Or I could just cut in between here. With the woodcutters, but we aren't going to make... I mean, I'll still do it. Might as well get something down. I guess we'll do the small farm just to kind of give it some variety, if that makes any sense. But, oh yeah, we should just make it now then. So we're gonna just preemptively put it back here. And hopefully I'm doing this right. I guess we'll see. But... Also, a little bit sad that I don't have Fox cooperation, but I think we can deal with the... What's happening? I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting. Aside from just trying to do trade routes, which I guess I'll check once really quickly here before we just move on with... move forward. Woodcutter's production is 15% quicker. Or I could grab boots, which I cannot make. But I think I still want to do this. Let me just let me check one more thing. I thought there was a thing that I'm working on. There is, but foxes are already working on it. We also need 15 amber, but I did that, I think, before the end of the last video. So yeah, we should be okay. I can't spend amber. I was going to spend amber. That would have been quite disastrous. So I think we just move on here. Oddly enough, I have trade goods available. Or I can give dye. Can I make dye? I can make dye. In fact, I am making dye right now. Probably with berries? No, with the scales that I had. But also with berries, so... would probably be in my interest to actually do that. That being said... did I... No, we can move another beaver here. And then probably do trade goods with dye, I think. I could use flour as well. I'm not using flour anywhere else at the moment, but hey. Also, I need packs of crops if I were to do what I just... am talking about, which would be the, I guess, which would be from the small farm. Oops. I did want to use, the thing. Wait, is that? Okay, it is. We don't need any more for now, so I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to forget, but hey, as we move forward here, kind of 25% into Drizzle, we should be perfectly fine. Get a reputation point from Fox Blue Resolve. There's something else I'm forgetting about, but I'm probably can't remember. Do we have a service building yet is my first question. Yes, we have the guild house, specifically. But something to actually, because we're not on DLC 2, we need to, if I were to make tea, which I can do for harpies and foxes, it would probably be in my interest to make this bathhouse. Which I can make, so... yeah, let's look to do that. Probably gonna move these shelters somewhere. First move this woodcutter's camp. And yeah, we should be closing out this settlement soon. If not, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm some worldly viceroy and against the storm, but I have to believe in myself at least, if not that much. Oh goodness. Shelter. I feel like there's a hotkey I could use instead of, well, I could be pressing M obviously, but obvious to me now, but let's continue moving on. So we'll put that up. I think this is frogs, right? Which we don't have, but we can still build this, and I'll probably remove people from the mines. Which are these both coal? No, this one's copper ore, which I can use for dye instead. I'm not really using copper bars, I don't believe. Let me just make a quick check. That being said, it's not like I need the berries. Well, we're actually running out of food, so we do need the berries. So, you know what we're going to do? We're going to prioritize the copper ore. I think I have... No, I have Fox on the thing. Kind of late now. So, we'll do this. A bit far, but they should be able to handle it. Now, if we're not able to handle this, they do have to walk quite a bit of a ways away, so I guess I should actually do this. That's a bit strange of a road, but we can make it happen. I'm not going to extend it too much if and when fertile soil gets made. But yeah, what I also wanted to mention was, yeah, we need a blight post. We do have a blight post. We have not been making any fire. Well, I guess that's where this next harpy goes. In fact, I think I can pull one from a mine. So I'm actually gonna do some mumble jumble here and do that. I think we actually want to use coal instead. So just say 8. Mine has no available ore. We can't upgrade anyway, so I guess we do finally deactivate this, and everyone goes into the bathhouse, I guess. I guess? Yeah, I guess. We're gonna run out of coal soon too, but we should be fine with that, I think. We're also making pickled goods, yeah, at the distillery. We're gonna run out of containers eventually, but until that moment happens, I think we'll be okay. I am using a lot of things, though. Because I think I'm also using it for dye here, which I should not be doing then. So, I could call the next merchant trader, but I think I'll decide against it. I don't think we're going to make this. 8 is usually around the... From what I've counted, at least, is usually around the number of farm fields that a single farm can handle, in my experience so far. With base stats. Obviously, there are things that can slow or quicken harvesting and planting speeds. Maybe... Do I have anything? I do have a bunch of leather. We're also using a bunch of oil. Aren't we burning this oil? Please tell me I'm burning this oil. I'm not burning this oil. Because I thought we had a press. We do have a press. And I should be speeding up production. Yeah, we should have also worked on this, but that's fine. So, we can throw this over here. It's going to be a long ways away. Do I really want to do that? We'll deactivate it. But I think we'll get to work on this herbalist camp. We'll use the harpies instead, because we want the foxes to work on something else. Do I really need this tea house? Do I need this tea house? That's the... I need to repeat that. I can make tea, because what is the apothecary mainly doing? Dye? Wait, isn't this an apothecary too? No, it's a tea house. So, better tea. So yeah, I could focus elsewhere. And then we can make jerky if I so choose, but we want to focus dye because I'm focusing on trade goods. Yeah, and if that's the case, I should actually put these woodcutters over here. We'll start basically opening up a way over through so we can make use of this fertile soil, theoretically speaking. Also, yeah, we do have foxes working there, but I think we do want to revive this so that if and when we get more, hold on, I'm looking at something. Yeah, we'll do that. As much as the sea marrow is nice, we're gonna use something else. And I think basically when this mine gets depleted is when we shift. In fact, we can even just start doing it now. We have to take someone away from somewhere. There is something on my body, and I'm feeling sad. Yeah, probably the rain collector. We're not even using... Oh, we are using clearance water. Okay, I'm just making a mistake. But we still want to do stuff. I think this is clearance water too, right? Yeah, so we really only need probably even just no one here. But just to be safe, because we do want to keep this active. My next question is, while we're sitting here, yeah, I think I'm gonna up resolve so I can get some blue resolve points. Otherwise, I'm kind of just sitting here doing nothing. Also, we can't make porridge, and we're gonna lose more resolve. So actually, I need to do this. This is gonna give me a point, actually. So you know what? No, we don't need to go that hard yet. We're slowly running out of this. You know what? Yeah, let's actually speed this up a little bit. Oh, it's because I don't even have the max amount. I think I'm gonna do this just quickly. Again, I want to keep blue resolve for the moment, but the pickled goods, we're gonna lose resolve here. We'll get whatever we can, though. Yeah, 0.39. It might only be like a few things, but I think we'll be fine with it. Now, we do want to continue making it. This is a temporary measure, but while we can get blue resolve, we might as well use it. Otherwise, we're not really doing much. I don't think anything else is happening here. They're transporting goods back. Okay, that's what they're doing. And we pretty much have as much as this large, the large thingamajiggies. I'm going crazy. By the way, you can put harpies here. Yeah, we don't actually need to even touch this dangerous glade that much. What I would like to do is use these tools to help close out this settlement faster. Can I do it before year 8, I guess, is the other question. I guess we'll see. If I lower... No, I can't. Out of curiosity. Goods, but... I guess what we could do... Because we don't need the trade goods if I'm trying to rush, so we're going to actually do this. In fact, I can even use dye, but we'll prioritize the things I kind of have less in at the moment, if that makes any sense. Now we'll use clearance water and just focus everything else. Now that's going to take away from pickled goods, but the well, not really. Well, yeah, containers. If that's the case, I probably should just call this next call Jorg now. I'm going to call Jorg now to try and close this out. That way we can continue making packs of goods. In fact, I'm even going to use mushrooms. What's our consumption looking like right now? Mainly berries and roots, and then any complex food, which is usually prioritized for those who like it. And I think the second priority afterward is raw food, and then complex food that they dislike. So that's something to think about. But, oh, we also are missing one house. So let's just build one really quickly. We shouldn't be needing to take anyone else in... But we'll see. So yeah, Jorg usually sells some kind of container. We have all these trade goods. Paste, farmer, I mean, anything that can help, I guess. But really, we want all of this food. And through blue resolve, we might be able to do this. Oh, it's going to be close because we're going to hit storm season, but... Them's the breaks! I should actually just hit auto here. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. Oh, ale. I forgot about ale. But we need these packs of crops, so... All things considered, yeah, I shouldn't need any more tools. If I do, that's gonna be weird. But actually, to save on some tools, we'll do this instead. And do that. And the guild house will do that. And we should just focus these packs of crops. So... Hey, year 7. I forgot what the exact effect of not having a lot of years before the end of the cycle and making a new settlement is, but anywho, yeah, I completely forgot that I had a guild house at all. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but just out of practice, we can say, I guess, wine. We're not really making pottery though. That would actually be better for the long run if I were to continue on this settlement. And with that said, we should be hitting blue resolve at the end of the settlement, please. That would be nice. And yeah, there we go. For the next one, I think we can just go to the next settlement, which is going to feel weird, but I promise that that's my fault for kind of going through things the way that I did. Manufacturing, smithy, ranch, market, smuggler. I think free cornerstone. Yeah, any are select free selection of cornerstone. This might even be. Is this the end of the cycle? No, it can't be, right? Ah, squeaky chair. But let me see here. Overgrown library. Into an event. No, this event goes past. So win with no one leaving. Gain 2 villagers. Resolve drops faster, but gain a cornerstone reroll. Ugh. I shouldn't need that. But we're going towards this seal anyway, right? Yeah. Because we have not repaired the bronze seal yet. Yeah, so we'll see. Again, for the sake of content being concise and whatnot, I could end this video here. But otherwise, I could start and go through a year and kind of basically get the setup done, which I think I'm probably going to do. We'll unlock this out of... Well, I'm looking for the exact word, but I forgot. Anywho, planks would be nice. The neighborhood level is also nice, so we're going to pick that. And yeah, I think I'll just look at the next settlement. So what we're going to do, yeah, is just start our next settlement. Out of curiosity. After checking 3 traders, when in the cost of calling traders to settlement reduced by 25. I don't really need to do that. Catch stag, gain 10. All starting caravans get 10 fabric. Which is interesting, but let me see. If you have a marshlands, I'd rather do that just to get the deed out of the way, but hey. Also, we could also do the overgrown library as well. Now, what would be funny is if I somehow still fumbled this, because if we go, yeah, 1, 2, 3, and then we go 1, 2, 3 to the sealed forest. So, yeah, I think we'll do that. So, Scarlet Orchard, this is probably, I'm probably picking the top caravan, but let me just make sure. So we'll go Holy Main, but yeah, more importantly, again, we're staying on Viceroy at least for the first seal. Afterwards, though, I promise, or try to promise, that I'll do Prestige 1 and start climbing. Not that you need to, but I'm going to. Let's see. 2 random villagers, so effectively 9 villagers. If I want to go this way, I could. Ow, my neck. I mean, in the end, you don't know, but you can still make educated guesses. So, I think I'm gonna take the usual. So egg roots, yeah, egg roots, and then we will be on our merry little way. Just making sure we picked lizards, but we'll start this. We'll go through at least 1 year. That way, the next one starts off a little spicier, I guess technically. Even though you do things that you do in year 1 does matter, in my opinion. So housing speed bonus, just need housing. Resolve drops faster. Clothing important, and the last one, complex food services. Unless we do some Sacrament of the Flame nonsense, but otherwise I should have this set up. So something to remember. But Archaeologist Office, prehistoric, or the Archaeologist Office. But in the meanwhile, we also have a free blueprint roll. Otherwise, I could just end this video here. That would be weird, but yeah, because that would be a very short Against the Storm video. Not that that's a terrible thing. But we have a fishing pond for fish, and then we have the color coded. So I think the fish is always blue, or primarily fishes and guaranteed is blue, and then algae is green, if I picked that up correctly. And then a lot of cloth potential. But then we have humans, lizards, and foxes instead of lizards, harpies, and another something else. That being said, they give you, so funny enough, they give you the wild card first, which is interesting. That does, so just to talk about, I guess, if I'm thinking in the mind of a developer, or at least for gameplay balance. So, unless there's a way to actually shuffle this around where I don't have to pick the wild card first, that means that you can't pick the 2 blueprints first that would randomize for you. You have to pick the wild card, which, in the case that I was talking about, you pick 2 that they give you randomly from 3 or 2 or 1 depending, and then you can pick your wild card to kind of complement it. Now when you pick the wild card, you don't know what you're going to get. That being said, I think as much as I want to farm first, and that would help towards complex food and services, let's take a service building first. I'm sure that I mean, I would actually find it a bit surprising if your wildcard pick did not influence the random blueprints that you get after. Because from what I've seen, read, and heard, the game does try to give you things relative to your situation. So what I mean by that, again, and this is going to help me think through my choice here, or I hope it does. So for example, you have, say, humans, lizards, and again, this is kind of speculation because I'm still learning Against the Storm, but if we are to assume that the game tries to relatively give you not complete RNG, but somewhat, there's some RNG involved, maybe things are weighted, or maybe it does try to give you things or it always tries to make sure that it gives you something relevant. For example, gives you a cookhouse to make biscuits, skewers, and porridge. But that's one case. Another case is it gives you something for, say, making potteries or making water skins so that you can make ale and wine. Or in this case, maybe even tea. Poor foxes. Another example is it gives you something that allows you to make boots or makes cloth. And then after you pick the cloth choices, it goes, okay, you pick cloth. So what can you do with the cloth? You can make boots, make coats. So it tries to give you the clothier or something like that. Things of this nature. So I'm not randomly going to get something that makes paste, for example. It will be something. I might get something that makes 3-star paste, but it'll still usually have at least one of the 3 items relevant to a race that you have. That's what I mean by the game tries to give you something relative to your situation. Even though I'll probably have to explain this more, or at least, again, if nothing else, it's a theory, but I feel like the game does try to give you stuff. Now, if you reroll and do other stuff, that's a whole different issue. But again, another example is you can get, maybe the game is very unlikely to give you Guild House because not just, it can give you the Guild House and you might wonder why, but every service building still has a passive effect that you can make use of. So you don't need anything that uses wine or education to proc the Guild House appearing in your blueprint roll. But out of everything in the game, if nothing else, maybe it's weighted RNG, so you can still get 2 to 3 completely unusable blueprints, or 1. But yeah, but otherwise I would have to go out of my way to pick the Guild House, which I could do, but since I'm thinking about possibly staying at 5 hostility, alternatively I could use the temple. Who is this for? Yeah, humans, foxes, and then we can try to build into plantation. That's basically... So another quick thing about me is that... So if you haven't seen much of this channel, I also play Slay the Spire. I don't play it very well because I usually go into Slay the Spire with like an empty mind, which is, I say this in the negative context for myself, where I'm not really looking for combinations. I'll think of things on the fly, but that's not really, like, you should be trying to play efficiently, as Against the Storm will push you to do if you want to keep progressing. You don't have to, but... if you're trying to, complete the game, you will need to climb prestige. There's just something particular to Against the Storm, but that's a whole other topic. Now, do I want the temple? Probably. Again, I have to remind myself I'm not on DLC 2 Alpha Experimental Branch, so the only way I'm going to get these services is if I pick a building for myself. Now, lizards only have brawling. So something that I should be on the lookout for is, I think, is there at the forum too? Or did I not unlock that yet? I can't remember. But otherwise it's just a clan hall, really, I think. Clan hall forum, yeah, Clan hall forum explorers lounge. I don't have the other 2, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise I would see it, question mark? I just scratched my arm because my arm is feeling itchy. But no, I don't have either. So basically, if I see the Clan Hall, I have to take it, because otherwise when you reroll, it's not going to give you the same blueprint. So Clan Hall is a must pick to avoid Hostility 5, unless I complete the game by then. Again, brainstorming right now. Alternatively, if I do end up doing Plantation Oil to Temple for Sacrament of the Flame, I can avoid Hostility 5 altogether. It is very, very possible. But then that also relies on me getting the... 1, the plantation, 2, finding fertile soil. Things do need to line up, essentially. But that's up to me to figure out. Then I also need to get complex housing, but if I set up a farm, that should be fine. So really, I mean, the safer pick would be to pick a farm, unless I never find any fertile soil. Actually, on that note, yeah, average amount of fertile soil. And then we take the temple. Mist Piercers would be interesting, but I'm going to take the temple now. And then we can do our next 2 blueprints. So we take the plantation. And if this doesn't work out, man, I'm gonna feel really bad. I should probably take bricks or fabric, but since I need clothing, I'll take boots. So I'll take the weaver instead, especially since we have reeds right here. And I think, you know, funny enough, yeah, I think I will just close out the video here. But if I were to take a quick little gander to at least review what's going on in this settlement, probably not gonna hit a Forbidden Glade. I can try to hit this one if I really need to. It's a bit of a ways out, though. Yeah, otherwise we're probably going to head towards this one instead. Depends, though, because if I get an order that to cut through glades or opening a small glade would be more beneficial or less risky, I'll cut into these two. But we're definitely going to need more fertile soil, so we'll probably end up just going to look at the range of this hearth. So we cut into this dangerous glade at some point, probably before year 5, definitely, because otherwise we're going to have... Yeah, we'll be at Hostility 5. We'll definitely be at Hostility 5. And get lucky. So then we maybe move into this Forbidden Glade if we need to. But usually, I mean, if you're playing really, really efficiently, I've seen a lot of times where you usually don't cut into a Forbidden Glade. Maybe I've just been watching... Maybe I just happen to watch a lot of settlements that don't cut into Forbidden Glades. But I'm not saying that it happens less than like 33% of the time, but... from what I've seen, it's less than 33%, but that's not. I assume there's more than that. Especially if you want to or need to or are incentivized to by the map. That being said, so we have fish scales, so we can make boots with these scales. We can make boots with the cloth that we make from the reeds. I thought we need something else. Let me actually just put the weaver down and see what. Yeah, it's just leather, or I thought you could make it with cloth for some reason. I'm going absolutely insane, but in other words. Yeah, and then the plantation we can't really use, so we're going to have a really inefficient planks and bricks for probably a while, especially considering I need to pick an oil building, but that depends if I see fertile soil. Again, a lot of things to think about, but yeah, without further ado, I think I'm just going to end this video here. So if you want to support me, you know what to do, subscribing, you can always comment, but you already listening or watching as much as you can does help me out. I do try to do things on my own, but when that happens, that's probably going to come up. Otherwise, Against the Storm videos are a personal experience in managing this channel and just, you know, putting things out daily. But yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching. Not going to take up more of your time. Bye.